Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, in today's video, first of all, I'm going to say my thank yous first of all, because sometimes I forget. I'm going to put my little banner on. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching my videos. Thank you to everybody for subscribing. It's free. Leave your DNA on the like button. It's completely free. And don't forget to press notifications so that you always know when there's a video coming out. Also, once the dog's ripping apart a yogurt carton, that's what you can hear in the background. A special thank you, of course, to my members. And tonight is Members Live. It's Monday if you're watching this video live. And tonight is the special Members Live. I've got a surprise for you. So for the Carry On Chatting members, a little surprise I've got for you tonight. So why not become a member or upgrade if you're a Let's Chat member. And tonight, every single Monday night is Carry On Chatting Members Live. Also, if you're a member, you can join the lower tier, which is the Let's Chat, which is only $1.99 a month. And we do a live there every second week. Okay, so this Thursday there will be a Let's Chat live. Okay, what else I've got to say? Oh yes, special thank you to anybody who buys me a Ko-fi, anybody who's sent me a super sticker, anybody who's PayPal me, emailed me, sent me a positive message. Thank you so much if you've contributed to my channel in any positive way. Thank you. Okay, so today's video, we're going to talk about a few different things. I've just realised I've left the members live up there. That's a little bit of a clue to what I was doing before. Because I'm going to replace that with this picture of little Kyan, because the first person we're going to talk about, the first case we're going to talk about in this Monday morning sort of potpourri of 3 different cases that we're looking at, just a little bit that I want to say about each one. Happy Monday to everybody. I hope you've had a good weekend. Of course, today is Remembrance Day. As you all know, I am a pacifist, so I have put a community post out about the white poppies. To me, just the day that there are no more wars will be the best day ever. But yeah, Day of Remembrance. My granddaddy fought in the First World War. My dad fought in the Second World War. And, you know, so we should remember all the people. But do you know what? Anybody who died in wars, whoever it is, should be remembered. Civilians, soldiers, from either side. Wars are wrong. Anyway, so... But the first thing I'm going to talk about today is little Kyan. We've been following his case. This case just blows my mind completely. I cannot believe what has happened in this instance, that a little boy should disappear and nobody noticed for 2 years. In this day and age, in Ireland, in a modern society. Just crazy, just awful. So we're going to be talking about him first. Then later, after that, we're going to be talking about Samantha Murphy and her murderer, alleged murderer, Patrick Stevenson. He's appearing in court this week again, and this time it'll be an hour-long session. The last one was a very brief session 3 months ago. And we're going to be talking about what we think we might be able to expect quote from this next court appearance by Patrick Stevenson. Then, just to finish off, we'll be talking again about the Delphi case, the Delphi murders, Libby and Abby, and Richard Allen. Is he guilty? Isn't he guilty? And whether he's guilty or not, what the jury think. What will the jury think? The jury is set to resume deliberations again today. They've already deliberated quite a few hours and haven't come up with a verdict yet. So it's looking more and more like a hung jury. But, you know, we don't know. We're going to just talk briefly again about that. And it's just a waiting game. Bad enough for us waiting for it. God knows what Libby and Abby's family are going through. This agonizing. I mean, they've waited quite a few years already to find out what happened to Libby and Abby. Now they know more about what happened to them, but they don't know yet. It's not been decided who is guilty. And, you know, are they going to get justice, or are they going to have to face another trial? Or is there somebody else out there that nobody knows who it is? Or is it the guy who died in 2021? I don't think so. But anyway, there's so much around this case, and it's, you know, horrible for anyone to think about what happened to those girls and the fact that they may not get justice. But for the families, my heart is just with the families completely, how they must feel. Anyway, so those are the three things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Kyan first. But first of all, I'm just going to say hello to everybody. I hope you've all had a good weekend. Hope you're all bright and breezy this Monday, whether it's Monday morning for you or Monday afternoon or Monday evening. You know what Mondays are like, don't we? But hi, David. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Maria. No, she's got, it's the German Shepherd. She's got a yogurt pot that my son's just finished, and he gave her the empty pot because she likes a little bit of yogurt, a little bit protein yogurt, don't you? You like a bit of that. So she's licked it clean, and then she's smashed it up and tore it to pieces just to get every last bit. Hi, Musical. Exactly, yeah. Not only people that are killed in wars, of course. No, you're quite right to remember that. Horses, dogs, of course. You know, not that they're like working animals in wars, animals that are used to help. But of course, think of all the animals that are in absolute trauma from hearing the bombs, etc. I've seen some from Ukraine and stuff. Just terrible. You know, what's wrong with people going around bloody bombing each other and everything? It's disgusting. But anyway, hi, Lorna. Hi, Quizzical. So let's have a look then at this case of Kyan. Now, this is, honest to God, it's just completely unbelievable. You know, you could not believe that this case was happening, except it is. And it's happening in Ireland, or that's where it sort of started. So let's have a look at an update. Well, let me first tell you what has happened. So little Kyan Durnin, let me get a picture up. I like to get a bigger picture up of him. Every picture I've seen of Kyan, nearly everyone is wearing bloody Spider-Man pajamas or Spider-Man t-shirt. Honest to God, I'm so anti-Spider-Man clothes. I've seen, let's put a picture up of him where he's not wearing Spider-Man clothes. So this is little Kyan. Where is he? He's not been seen for 2 years. He's not been seen for 2 years. The police say he is almost certainly deceased, but they don't know where he is. Nobody seems to know where he is. And the police have searched properties where Kyan's lived and haven't found anything. They've searched the garden, they've searched land nearby, and no trace can be found of this little boy. This little boy has a family, But none of that family reported him missing for 2 years. Just incredible, isn't it? Just defies belief, I think. Hi, Chumba. Just defies belief. But let me read you the story. We'll carry on looking at his picture, I think, and I'll just read out to you what exactly happened. Well, as far as we know, I mean, we don't know what's happened. But there's a definite, there's a lot of anger towards the social services because he was taken out of school. He was known to the social services. And his mother has been tracked down in England. So why is she in England and she's never reported her son missing? Anyway, so let me just read you what it says about it in the Dublin Live. This is that I'm reading from. Oops. So Gardaí, that's the Irish police, sorry, it's flicking me up with adverts. Gardaí have been told that the mother of Kyan Durnin says she does not know what happened to her son. She does not know what's happened to her son. Come on. You don't know what's happened to your son. He's not, 30. I think he was 4 at the time when he went missing. And he would be 6 now if he's still alive. So apparently now, Durnin is living in East Anglia. And she's understood to have spoken to police in England. And so apparently the police located because originally both Kyan and his mother were reported missing. In August this year, they were both reported missing. Now, Dayla has been found in East Anglia, of all places, in England, and has assured detectives she is safe. But she's not made any form of statement, according to Dublin Live, either formally or informally, about the missing 8-year-old. Oh, so he must have been 6 when he went missing. So your 6-year-old son, who's in your care, by the way. So he's not a 6-year-old son who's living with another parent or with somebody else. He's living in your care and he disappears and you don't report him missing. So the police are satisfied that the child is dead, but they have no idea exactly when he died. So why are they satisfied that he's dead if they haven't found his little body and they have no idea when he died? I mean, it's a very strange case, isn't it? So all they know so far is he was last seen alive at school in late May or early June in 2022. So over 2 years ago. They have not yet established how long he lived for after that and how and when he died. So a senior police source has said, this case is so complicated and could take at least 6 months, if not longer, to crack. The key people involved are not cooperating. And they said, we've received a large amount of information from the public and we are checking it bit by bit. We do not know how long Kyan lived after he left his school. The family were moving around different locations and we are trying to pinpoint their exact movements. People are saying he went missing, but nobody who was around him will tell us on what date or exactly how it happened. The child may have died as a result of an accident. We do not know, and we can't get any of these answers until we can find the body. A dig at the former family home in Dundalk was inconclusive and detectives found no remains there. However, they did establish that Kyan was not seen with his family at that location in the previous 12 months or so. Detectives are now looking at searching and digging other locations, including a number of houses in the Drogheda area, but no decision has been made whether to proceed or not. So, I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? Really? Unbelievable. This case, I think. You know, every case we look at is, hi, Rini, hi, Laurie. Every case we look at is, normally sort of crazy, isn't it, one way or another? That's why these cases become high profile. It's really unusual, isn't it, in sort of Western society, in Ireland or England or anywhere like that. It's really unusual for somebody to go missing, a child especially, for a child to go missing and not only to go missing, but then to not be reported missing. How unusual is that? Anyway, apparently, so it was. I was looking for some updates, and there's not an update in the sense that Karen has been found, but I just wanted to tell you. The Belfast Live is saying there's been a major update, but the media do say these sort of things to try and get you to read their articles, which of course worked, because as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, a major update. So let's see what the Belfast Live has got to say. So, major update in mystery surrounding Kyan Durnin as a number of men contact the Gardaí in good faith. A number of men. At least 2 of the men were known to missing Kyan's mother, Dela Durnin. Well, she's not missing. So this is supposed to be, this was the 10th of November. This is yesterday. She's not missing. She's been found. She's, they do, God. Sometimes, we know more than they do, more than the mainstream media know. Anyway, according to them, Belfast Live, detectives leading the Kyan Durnin I can't get my words out this morning, murder probe have eliminated a number of men known to the little boy's family from their investigation. It's understood that each of the men contacted the Gardaí, claiming to have no knowledge about the disappearance or death of the missing 8-year-old. And at least 2 of the men were known to missing Kyan's mother, Dela Durnin. And a Garda source confirmed an unspecified number of men had made contact with them in recent days. And they said, a number of men have been in contact with us to make it clear they knew the family, but not Kyan, and had nothing to do with him going missing, the source said. They each rang in good faith and were very helpful to our inquiries. We are building up a profile of the young lad's life, where he lived and who he met. This is an important part of the whole evidence gathering operation, so that we know as much about the child as possible. The source added, some people have been pointing the finger of blame at these individuals. So I wonder if they were like boyfriends of Kyla's or just friends. And, people have said, oh, well, this was his stepdad or this person was involved with Kyla. Anyway, the Gardaí are saying they are totally innocent and they had nothing to do with Kyan's disappearance. And it's understood that Kyan's biological father had not been involved in the child's life for the last 2 years. Yeah, where is his biological father? They keep going on about the mother. What about this little mite's dad? Why did he not wonder where Kyan was for 2 years? Even if him and Kyla are separated, if he's any sort of a father, he'd want to know where his son was when he hadn't seen him for 2 years. Just feels like nobody cared about this boy. How can a little one like that go missing and nobody knows? So although the young lad was last publicly seen alive at a Dundalk primary school in June 2002, detectives still have no idea when and how he actually died. The Garda source added, there is a big cover-up going on and we are trying to get to the bottom of it. We suspect a handful of people know what happened to Kyan and are saying nothing. These will be his family, part of his family. Because the people who know what happened to Kyan, there'll be people who are close to him, won't they? They're not going to be strangers. You know, if she's covered it up that he'd gone missing, she must know there's no mother who, what, you get up one morning, oh yeah, my son's missing. Oh yeah, he's only 6, but he'd be fine. You know, oh no, I'm not going to report it to the police. She knows something, obviously she does, because if she's not reported him missing, she must know something. And also now I want to know, where is the father, the biological father? Why is he not questioned what had happened to his son? Because even if you'd split up from the mother, and why did they split up? You know, has he had something to do with it? Somebody, this boy is somewhere, either alive or dead, and somebody knows exactly where he is and what's happened to him. It's a very, very mysterious case, I think. Very, very mysterious case. You know, the mother must know something. And as I say, you know, we must remember he's got a father as well. You know, it's not all about the mother. You know, why isn't the father questioned where he's been for 2 years? Poor little thing. And please, please, any of you out there, don't ever buy Spider-Man things for kids. Oh, God, I'm sick of looking at missing kids or deceased kids with Spider-Man outfits on. Anyway, I know it's ridiculous, but it feels like it's like a bad talisman. You know, it's not, it just feels awful every time you see these boys. I know Spider-Man's a big thing for boys, but it gives me the creeps. Anyway, this poor little one. So the Garda source said, we are hoping their conscience will eventually get the better of them and they will tell the truth. Well, I hope they do. I hope they see this little boy's face every time when they go to sleep at night. And can they live with themselves? They know what's happened. It could have been an accident. It's just that you think, if it had been an accident, why cover it up? You know, why just pretend he doesn't exist anymore? You know, accidents happen. But is it going to be, was it like a Sarah Sharif type thing? Had he been so badly abused and then maybe he died? Maybe they didn't mean to kill him in that moment, but he died as a result of abuse. And then they didn't want to go to the police because they thought, you know, whatever. So we don't know, do we? Was it an accident? If he is deceased, the police seem convinced he's deceased. Not sure why the police are convinced he's deceased, that apart from the fact, of course, he hasn't been seen. But, you know, they've probably got their reasons why they think that as well. Anyway, prayers for the missing young lad were again said around different churches in County Louth on Sunday. And a new appeal for any information in relation to this case was made on the powerful Drogheda Dolls Facebook page. I don't know that. Well, I might have a look at that in a minute. Garda have also scrapped for the moment a plan to search and dig a number of houses and locations in the Drogheda area which were connected to the child. And it is understood that if more evidence is uncovered, that decision could change. So at the moment, they're not planning to search anywhere, but they're just waiting. They'll be waiting for somebody to do the right thing, come forward and just say, you know, what has happened to this boy? Now, I'm just going to have a look at that Drogheda Dolls thing. You know, I mean, obviously it's a massive case in Ireland, but I think it deserves coverage everywhere because, well, she's got a connection to England for a start. Oh, it's a private group. Oh, I don't know if I can I'm going to try and join it, but sometimes it's a private group, so I wouldn't be able to show you. I wouldn't be able to show you anything in there, but I could read it out to you. And it's a page for the women in Drogheda and the outskirts of Drogheda. The only thing required to be a member is compassion and respect for each other. So it's like what's that? It's like a mum's page. So apparently, I mean, they've got a big following. They've got 30,000 members. So apparently, according to that article, they've put an appeal on there. So I've applied to join the group, and we'll see if I get accepted or not. Because, of course, I don't live in Drogheda. I just want to see the appeal. But, yeah, so what do we all think about that? It's just high moonbeam. Yeah, Chumbers, yellow. That's what I pointed out before. It's yellow, and the other boy was William Tyrrell from Australia, the boy in the Spider-Man pajamas. So yeah. Hi Nightbot. So here's Nightbot, just to remind you to subscribe and things like that. Good old Nightbot. But anyway, so it's a very, very strange case. As I say, I wanted to give you a little look. It's not exactly an update because he hasn't been found, but just to show that it's. Oh, sorry, Rini, I didn't mean to put that up there. I was going to put the Nightbot thing up. What was I going to say? Yeah. So, what do you think about it? And it's incredible. It's impossible that mother does not know what happened, in my opinion. And not only that, I want to know why was his father not been asking about him? And all the family, to be honest, because you know what it's like in a family. Presumably he's got a grandma, a granddad, he's got uncles and aunties. Nobody's reported this child missing for 2 years. I'm thinking, like, if it was my family, and if one of the children went missing, and most of my nieces and nephews, their children are older now, but at the time when they were young, or if my nieces and nephews would have gone missing, can you imagine not inquiring about it? Saying to your sister or whatever, oh, where's Kieran? Like, well, you want to know where they were. How can nobody how can nobody have noticed that this little boy's gone missing? And where was his father as well? Why is his father not asking to see him? People shouldn't have kids if they don't care about them. There should be a law against that. Like, why have children if you don't want to look after them? I mean, all right, the first one maybe you might be a mistake or whatever, and everybody, but then people go on and have more children. Look at Sarah Sharif's family; they've got loads of kids between them. About 7 altogether. And not only that family, lots of families are saying they keep on having children, they can't look after the ones they've got, and then they go on and have more children. Terrible. Anyway, somebody knows. And like you say, the school, I mean, they were under attention of social services, but that makes it even worse. Because why weren't the what did the social services think when he didn't turn up at school? Oh, so apparently the school was told he was in hospital with COVID. Let's have a look at that. I'll see if I can find that article. But they haven't been able to find any record of him being in hospital. So one of the excuses, This was, the school was told, so new and confusing details. Let me share this actually. This was November the 3rd, so this was a little while ago, this article. School was told that the missing pupil was in hospital with COVID-19. New and confusing details about the last missing sightings. Look, he's got another Spider-Man thing on there. New and confusing details about the last known sightings of missing boy Kyan Durnin have emerged, including an alleged 6-week hospital stay in late May and June of 2022. So this is what the school were told? This poor little thing. Gardaí investigating the murder of the child are working to establish a timeline of the boy's last official sightings. The team is now focusing on a critical 6-week period during which Kyan was allegedly receiving hospital treatment for COVID-19. And according to the paper, Kyan's mother, Durnin, contacted her son's primary school in Dundalk in May 2022 and said he would be absent as he had COVID-19 and was in hospital. She did not say when he was back. That boy was dead then. For her to phone the hospital and say that, he was 6 at the time. He'd be absent because he's got COVID and she didn't know when he'd be back. So then that took her up to the summer holidays. That gave her more breathing space. That boy then would have been deceased, wouldn't he? I think. So, yeah, we've got this. So we don't know. But the Gardaí of I never know how to pronounce that. The Gardaí, as yet, have no records to confirm he was in hospital. So she rang up and said he was in hospital, but there's no records to confirm it. According to the register, it says he did return to school and he is recorded as attending right up to the last day of term in June 2022. So mate, he can't have been deceased then. That's odd, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? This mystery. But, God, having said that, while Kyan could have been attending school for the last few weeks of term, detectives have been unable to find a witness who can definitively place the child in the school during that time. Kyan could have been attending school for the last few weeks of term, but that has not been established yet. What do you mean? What do you mean? Haven't they got CCTV at the school? Haven't they got CCTV of him being dropped off, picked up? Haven't they got a register? Oh, for God's sake. That's impossible. I can feel swearing coming on. How can they say they're not sure he was either there or he wasn't there? How can you not be sure if a child was at school or not? CCTV, registers, teachers. So what are they saying? That, honestly, because according to the register, he did return to school and he's recorded as attending, but they can't find a witness who can place him there. What about the teachers? So the investigation team are tracking back as much as they can on Kyan's life, and when he comes into contact with any state institution that can verify that he was alive at that time. Well, doesn't never mind. So the official paper trail for Kyan comes to a halt in June when his mother told the school the boy would not be returning in the new term as they were moving to Northern Ireland. Kyan has 2 younger siblings, and according to the Sunday Independent, the child and family agency TUSLA, they're getting a lot of stick about it. TUSLA is like the child protection agency in Ireland. They requested a face-to-face meeting with the Durnin family earlier this year. The paper reports that social workers had concerns about the family, although they did not specifically relate to Kyan. So I hope those other children are okay. Where are they now? After several attempts, the first meeting reportedly took place in mid-July, and a second in-person meeting happened in early August. And the boy in attendance at both meetings was believed to be Kyan. Now there's this thing that some boy went a lot. There was a boy at the guest house that was they stayed at a guest house, and a little boy went along there, and he was, but I don't think they think it was Kyan, because they think that Kyan has been dead for 2 years. So were they trying to make it look as if this other boy was Kyan? It's crazy, isn't it? It's a crazy, this poor little boy. So did they use another similar aged little boy to pretend he was Kyan? I don't know. So when Kyan and Dayla were reported missing in late August, Tusla allegedly alerted the Gardaí that the image of Kyan that was being used to help locate him was not the same boy that they had met in the meetings. It is only after the missing person investigation commenced that the investigation team established that Kyan was not Kyan. Oh my God, it's just unbelievable. So this is where we are. We don't know what happened to Kyan. His body's not been found yet. It seems like they were using another child to pretend it was him. You know, who knows? I suppose, you know, when you think about it, it's like, if it's not your child, maybe it is, and you know, a child that's close to you, maybe it is to pass off a similar child as that child. And of course, children, they change quickly, don't they, as they grow older? So, you know, they do quite often look different. You know, if you think of somebody, you know, and you see them with their child, and then you see them 6 months later, children change quickly, don't they? So it's possible, you know, that somebody might get confused about whether it was Kyan or not. This is high quizzical. This is, you know, it's a real mystery, isn't it? Real, like say, really bizarre. Well, Laurie, you would think the teacher would know him. You would think so. But, you know, don't forget the teacher hadn't seen him for 6 weeks. Maybe it was a different teacher. You know, so he supposedly he'd been in hospital, well, I don't know how many weeks with COVID, supposedly. Like, you would hope that a teacher would recognise someone, but I don't know how big these classes are. You know, I just don't know. I mean, like you say, it makes your head hurt. It's beyond belief, really, isn't it? That this little one could have been, well, the Gardaí are saying they think he died 2 years ago. So, you know, anyway. So that's where we are with that case. That's where we are. So we will see. Hi, Maria. I think I might have said hello to you before, but I'm not sure. But hi again anyway. So that's what I wanted to tell you. The updates, if you can call it an update. I think we're even more confused than we were before as far as Kyan's concerned, aren't we? Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is another case that we've been following. You know, we stick with our cases till we get some resolution, which is that of Samantha Murphy. And gosh, this case, it just feels like, you know, this is another one where you feel like, sometimes it feels like just not getting anywhere. The police aren't getting anywhere. Having said that, this is Samantha. Let me put a bigger picture up of her. Having said that, they have arrested somebody for murder, so I suppose you could say that they are getting somewhere. So this was Samantha, who went off to go for a jog because she was training for a marathon back in February in Ballarat in Australia. A run that she would have done on a regular basis, that a lot of women do, round a sort of a nature trail type place, and never came back. And the photo up in the corner here, this was her on that very morning. This is the last photo that we have of Samantha. She's clearing up a dog's mess, and then off she went, you know, just like so many people do for a Sunday morning jog, Sunday morning walk, you know, whichever way you want to look at it, and came to foul play as far as the victim. So the police are saying that what happened was somewhere on that jog, she bumped into this man, young man, only 22 years old, Patrick Stevenson, all Australian boy. His father used to be an Australian football player. They're well known in the area. He's an electrician. You know, a guy who, you know, liked to drink. We've seen videos of him where he obviously liked to drink, and he liked a bit of Charlie, a bit of the old cocaine. But, you know, had no previous convictions, although he had smashed his motorbike into a tree when he was drunk, apparently, it turns out. But no charges were ever made. Anyway, I think that's going to come out in the whole trial of everything, you know, the details of that. So after the police first announcing, you know, there was no foul play, then suddenly there was foul play, and then suddenly they arrested Patrick Stevenson. Now, they have not found Samantha's body, despite making several targeted searches. They say they've got a massive amount of data from, you know, from this inquiry has produced a massive amount of data that is taking a long time for both the prosecution and the defence to plough their way through. And Patrick appeared in court, didn't he, not long ago? Well, it was actually 3 months ago, I think. And he's due to appear again. So his next court appearance is this week. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to watch it. I think it's on the 14th, which is Thursday. I don't know how that works out. Thursday, Australian Thursday. I don't know if that'll be Wednesday in Spain. You'll have to work all that out. He'll be appearing. Because in the last court appearance that Patrick made, it was something and nothing. It was literally a 5-minute appearance. He looked like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. God, this boy, he looks like, you know, your wholesome sort of young lad. He was just like, oh God, you know, oh yes, so polite, so nice. And I know people will be looking at him and thinking, can he be a murderer? Of course he can be a murderer. Murderers take all shapes and sizes, don't they? And of course, there's always speculation. Was somebody else involved? Wasn't somebody else involved? Is he covering up for someone? Did he, you know, all those usual things that sort of emerge because this case is dragging on. When things drag on, you know, I know that the wheels of justice go slowly, and sometimes it's so that it's done properly. They don't go as quick as we want them to go. You know, we want him to be, if he's guilty, obviously, we want him to be tried, found guilty, and, you know, put in prison. But of course, you know, the wheels of justice will turn as they turn. You know, we can't, you know, they'll just go as quickly or as slowly as they have to. But obviously what's causing people a lot of consternation is the fact that and no one probably more than her family, because, you know, Samantha had three children, one of which really quite young, and those children are all motherless, and she had a husband as well. How must it be for them, this agonizing waiting? We talk about with the Delphi case the same. Gosh, these families, it's like they've got this eternal torment, haven't they? Because not only their loved one has been taken away from them in horrible circumstances, and now with this particular case, they haven't even had a body to bury it with respect or say goodbye to. You know, she's still out there somewhere. How awful, how so very awful. And then in the Delphi case, they've had the bodies of their little girls. But of course, you know, that doesn't, you know, at least they've been able to give them a burial, but they're in torment now, waiting for the verdict and having to listen to people saying, not only that he's not guilty, but also some people saying that Libby's sister Kelsey is guilty of these murders. And, you know, people just saying ridiculous things. So this is just awful, isn't it? So what will we find out this week from Patrick? So it's been an hour this time as set aside for this court hearing. So the judge said an hour. So in an hour, surely we'll find out something. We found out nothing really last time that he appeared in court, but surely in an hour we will find out something. The only thing we really found out last time was this massive amount of, let me just see if I can find out how exactly they described it. Now, of course, Patrick is innocent till proven guilty, but you just think, why, you know, why the police have arrested him for a reason. We don't know yet. We don't know what the evidence is that the police have got that makes them convinced it was Patrick who did it. We just don't know. They haven't said anything about that yet. Just want to see exactly what was said. Yeah, they heard that it was, so it was August the 7th, the last time that Patrick appeared in court. So briefly, I mean, it was literally 5 minutes. And the court heard, the only thing we learned really was that the murder case against him is unprecedented in terms of size. Unprecedented in terms of size. An unprecedented, let's watch this video actually. Unprecedented amount of evidence, which is good. The more evidence, the better. Of course, a lot of the problems with the Delphi cases, people are saying there's not enough evidence. But I just think, how much more evidence do you need than a bullet left at the scene? Him admitting he was there, him confessing to it 60 odd times, the bridge guy obviously being him. I mean, what more evidence do you need? Anyway, let's have a look what they've got to say here.
Police for the case against Samantha Murphy's alleged killer has been described as unprecedented. Patrick Orrin Stevenson faced a packed courtroom in Ballarat today where the prosecution asked for extra time to build its case. Laura Turner was there.
The legal team defending one of Victoria's most high-profile alleged killers, Patrick Orrin Stevenson.
And on what basis will you fight this charge?
186 days since Samantha Murphy vanished after going on a run through Ballarat bushland, those prosecuting Stevenson telling the magistrate they needed an extra 3 months to build their case, saying the size of the brief of evidence is unprecedented.
So it's the prosecution asked for it, but I think the defence wanted it as well, the delay. So, of course, these scenes is when they found Samantha's phone, didn't they? They found Samantha's phone near a dam.
We appreciate that's a significant amount of time, but the brief is extensive and involves an extensive amount of CCTV. The magistrate replying, 3 months is quite a long time for your client and the community. Defence lawyer Moya O'Brien telling the court her office hasn't received any of the CCTV yet, agreeing another 12 weeks is needed.
Has your client expressed any concern about his time on remand at the moment?
No comment.
It was standing room only in the court today, but Patrick Stevenson did not have any family support in there. He appeared via video link.
No, his mother was on the video link. She was one of the people viewing, because you can view on a video link, and she was one of the people viewing, but she wasn't actually in the courtroom. But it was literally 5-10 minute hearing. So I wonder if she'll be there for the next one. I also wonder, will Patrick be in the courtroom or will he be appearing on video link again? I can't find a video link for him so far. Maybe he's not going to appear in video link this time. Who knows?
Instead, straight ahead for the entire hearing, speaking only briefly when the magistrate asked him if he could hear proceedings.
Stevenson is also facing drug, drink and careless driving offences in a separate prosecution. The media unsuccessfully arguing.
Yeah, so he's got separate these separate charges that were from a year before or quite a long time before, and he was never held to account for them. So he's been a little shit, basically, going around and doing stuff, and he's not been held to account. To me, Patrick, and he looks nothing like that, by the way. This picture, I think I did show it an actual picture of Patrick to my members. You're not supposed to show the pictures, actually from the links. But he looks nothing like that. He looks like butter won't melt. He has beefed out. He's beefed out a lot, on the photos that we've seen of Patrick. He looks, although he's muscly, you can see he's what I would call wiry, he's muscly, but not really big sort of thing. He is now, he must have been, he's been eating a few prison cupcakes or going to the gym or whatever, but he looks absolutely nothing like that. That makes him look like quite sinister. He doesn't. He looks like Bambi in the headlights. He looks like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. He looks nothing like that, where they're trying to make him look like he is a murderer or whatever. He doesn't look like a murderer, whatever a murderer looks like. So I just want to say, because it's a real thing that I have, that people do not look like what they are always. We focus so much on looks in society, don't we? The way people look. He does not look sinister. He looks just like your average 22-year-old young, handsome lad, like your all Australian boy. That's what he looks like. He doesn't look like a murderer, whatever a murderer looks like, or a rapist or whatever. That people don't look like what they are. You don't know what's going on in people's minds, so yeah, he looks absolutely nothing like that.
To have the detail of those alleged offences released today. The community will now have to wait until November 14 to hear more of the case against Stevenson, who allegedly took the life of a Ballarat mother. The whereabouts of her body still unknown. Laura Turner, 9 News.
Poor Samantha and poor Samantha's family. And that was August, and it seemed like forever away. Well, it's nearly here. It's nearly here, because we're on the 11th of November, 14th of November. It'll be interesting to see. I'm going to just play that video one more time. It'd be interesting to see, is he going to appear in court or is he going to appear by video link again? This is an hour, as I say, an hour long. The judge has set aside an hour for this hearing, so hopefully we might get to hear a little bit more, because it's been like tumbleweed, this case. People quite often send me messages, can't you try and find out something about Samantha? Or you just can't. There's nothing. It's like tumbleweed going, trying to find out something new. Since that last thing in August, that was the thing in August with the... Nothing, nada. There was a couple of searches, weren't there? A couple of targeted searches that we covered, but that seems to have gone quiet again. So, I do. Well, I have faith that they will find Samantha's body sooner or later, or maybe he'll crack in the end and say where she is. But until they've got the body, of course, it makes the murder case more difficult. But they seem to have a lot of evidence against Patrick.
Now to the rest of the day's news and the brief of evidence from homicide police for the case against Samantha Murphy's alleged killer has been described as unprecedented. Patrick Oren Stevenson faced a packed courtroom in Ballarat today where the prosecution asked for extra time to build its case. Laura Turner was there.
The legal team defending one of Victoria's most high-profile alleged killers, Patrick Oren Stevenson.
And on what basis will you fight this charge?
186 days since Samantha Murphy vanished after going on a run through Ballarat bushland, those prosecuting Stevenson telling the magistrate they needed an extra 3 months to build their case, saying the size of the brief of evidence is unprecedented. We appreciate that's a significant amount of time, but the brief is extensive and involves an extensive amount of CCTV. The magistrate replying, 3 months is quite a long time for your client and the community. Defence lawyer Moya O'Brien telling the court her office hasn't received any of the CCTV yet, agreeing another 12 weeks is needed.
Has your client expressed any concern about his time on remand at the moment?
No comment.
It was standing room only in the court today, but Patrick Stevenson did not have any family support in there. He appeared via video link and stared straight ahead for the entire hearing, speaking only briefly when the magistrate asked him if he could hear proceedings.
Stevenson is also facing drug, drink and careless driving offences in a separate prosecution. The media unsuccessfully arguing to have the detail of those alleged offences released today. The community will now have to wait until November 14 to hear more of the case against Stevenson, who allegedly took the life of a Ballarat mother. The whereabouts of her body still unknown. Laura Turner, 9 News.
Okay, so there you go. That's where we are.
Good morning, everybody. This is Christine, facility.
That's where we are with that. So we will be finding something out this week, unless it gets postponed or anything. We will be finding something out. We must find something out this week when Patrick appears in court. So that's what I just wanted to tell you about that. Now, this video I probably will be clipping into 3 smaller videos just to let you know, because those of you who've already watched, you know, when the other videos come out, you don't want to sit through it all again. But some people don't like a long live stream. So what I try and do is sort of do the long live stream and then clip it into the different stories. And that's what I'll be doing about this. Now, what I'm going to go on to now, of course, is I think the case that's in the forefront of a lot of our minds at the moment, which, of course, is the Delphi case. And, you know, the jury have been out for 2 days. The dog's talking to me. And haven't come up with a verdict yet. This is a very controversial case as far as people, some people thinking Richard Allen is guilty, some people thinking he isn't guilty, there's enough evidence, there's not enough evidence, blah, 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 blah. So I think it's caused a lot of chatter online about people, it just quite amazes me, so many people defending Richard Allen. This is the man accused. And, well, the many faces of the man who's accused of killing Abby and Libby. This is a big thing to me, the way he's changed his appearance. You literally, apart from the weirdy eyes that you can't, and the fat cheeks, though he has lost his fat cheeks on some of these, this picture and this picture. This to me, the way he's changed his appearance is a big red flag. And it just seems obvious to me that this is him on the bridge. I don't know why people think it isn't. I think it looks exactly like him. But anyway, I don't think the prosecution have presented their case very well. if this trial comes to a hung jury and then it has to be tried again, I hope they do a better job of presenting the evidence, etc. Now, I just wanted to show you this because then I found this. Look, see, he was a big guy. This was a picture of him around the time that the girls died, actually. You know, he's a big guy. He's got a lot of meat on him. You know, to me, looks exactly what Bridget Guy would have looked like. But, you know, in stature, you know, he's a substantial guy. Not anymore, of course he isn't. This is the problem. This is him now. Frail little, you know, just, you wouldn't know it was the same person, would you? Now, some people are saying, oh, that's because he's been treated so badly in prison. This picture is probably somewhere in the middle of the two, isn't it? You know, he's gone from this to this to this. And, of course, a lot of people are saying, well, that's because he was treated so badly in prison. You know, I don't know. And to be honest, you know, what that man did to those girls, I haven't got any sympathy for him. I just haven't. I mean, obviously, if he's innocent, I have, but I just don't think he is. So that's where I am with it. And there was something else that I put on my community post, and I want to show you. And I think which one it was. I think that Libby, the reason why he did this, you know, why did he do it? You know, I mean, he had some mental problems, and it seemed like he had. There was some domestic violence issues, but we don't know all the details, do we? I don't know if the jury know all the details, but probably not. Because he's got to be tried on the evidence of that case, not on anything else. But, you know, I do feel like, because I quite often wondered, you know, I'm sure you all have, why did he pick Libby and Abby too? Because there were other girls around there. Why did he pick two girls? You know, take a chance with two girls. Now, he did have a gun with him, I believe. So that's how he'll have got them to go down the hill. But when you look at these two photos, so this is Richard Allen's daughter. This is a picture that was taken on the bridge. Not by him, I don't think. I think by his wife. And this is Libby's picture. I just think they look so alike. I think Libby might be the key to this, the reason why he did it. Because also Libby was the one that was naked, though it did, as Abby had been redressed in Libby's clothes, it seems like Abby was naked at some point as well. I don't know, just gave me that feeling. There's such a similarity between, is that the key as to why he chose those girls, as opposed to anybody else for all the time? You know, he's probably been on that trail a million times, and he's probably seen lots of girls. And never done anything, as far as we know. And of course we would know. I mean, if there'd been another murder on that trail at any time, or assault or whatever, I'm sure we would know about it, would we? We would have got to know about it. Because this is the biggest problem to me is, why did he suddenly do it at the age of 50 odd? You know, if he's never done anything like this before. You know, it's a bit weird, isn't it, to just suddenly break out and do something. And it's a big thing, you know, it's not, you know, normally offenders like this, they start off with exposing themselves, maybe stealing underwear off people's clotheslines. You know, they don't normally start off with slitting two girls' throats and, you know, a great big thing like that. There's normally an acceleration, isn't there? There's normally starts with more sort of innocuous things, if you like, though. People, this is why they always say nothing is innocuous. You know, if someone starts off flashing, exposing themselves, they're quite likely to build up then, bit by bit, you know, so maybe start with stalking, then exposing themselves and stealing underwear or whatever, like that Colonel Williams breaking into women's houses and stealing their sex toys and things, and then ending up in murder, etc. Where it feels like, unless there's things we don't know, if Richard Allen is guilty, he just went from, nothing to, slitting two girls' throats. It's a big jump, isn't it? It's a big jump. And the other thing, though, is I think, well, if he didn't do it, who did do it? I don't think, anyway, I don't think it's been proven that anybody else. I think there's a reason the police have taken this far. I know other people have been investigated, but they haven't been brought to court because there wasn't evidence, I would imagine. Whereas with Richard, they felt there was evidence, with the bullet especially, that was there at the scene. The fact he admitted he was there and he was dressed in the same clothes as Bridge Guy, etc. There are lots of reasons why the police have brought him as far as this, but anyway, so the trial resumes. Sorry, not the trial, the hi Ninchi. Yeah, I believe that he is as well. He may not, he may be innocent, Jojo, you're right, he may be. But I don't know what the Evansdale killings are. Who's talking about someone mentioning I don't know about those, Ninchi. I will research them. I don't know about the Evansdale killings. Let's have a look actually while we're here. So this was in Iowa. Two young girls abducted in July 2012. Oh, well, I will look into that. I will do a video on that because it looks it's interesting. How far away is Iowa from? Because he's always lived there, hasn't he? So he's lived in Delphi or around that area anyway, all his life. He's Mr. Ordinary, isn't he? He's worked at Walmart and then he's worked at this CVS store. He's known to people. So, it's quite a long way away though, isn't it? Iowa from Delphi. Let me have a look. Oh, it take me a little while to go. But I am going to look into that. Because that's interesting. So he admitted he's a sex addict. Oh, he was working in Iowa at the time. All right, that's interesting, Ninchi. Well, I need to look at, maybe we can look at that together, me and you, because we haven't done a collaboration for a while or for something. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know anything about that case, so you've told me something I didn't know there. So, thank you. Right, let me just see. Hang on, and take that off. I'm going to show this video again because this to me is.
he's looking at her. But look, he's like, oh, and he covers it up with something. Why would you do that? It kind of does look like a crossword puzzle, though, doesn't it? Or maybe underneath that was, maybe he had that on top of the pad and he pulls it out. You know, what's on that thing? That looks like an iPad there. You see that? Yeah. See that face he's making right there? Does that look like he is subservient to his wife? Hey, thank you. Tighten up. Hey, we're getting close. We're getting close. This is what it sounds like right here. There's a wheelchair coming up. God, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if she had something to do with his mental decline. Let's see. What's the other one? This one? Let's play that one. Look at that.
We're going down.
See? Same thing. Ginger snaps.
Down.
Hey, the cable snaps.
Shut up. It's not going to snap.
Shut up.
I'm
It's not gonna
gyrating,
snap.
but it's not going to snap.
There's a wheelchair coming up. Oh, I got somebody here. Hold on. I didn't realize there was somebody sitting here. All right.
Yeah. So when he says, "Oh, what if the cable snaps?" Like that sounds just like Bridge Guy to me. Sounds like Bridge Guy. Looks like Bridge Guy. So yeah. So I was watching. Somebody had sent me this link to this video on Plunder, but I've got to ask Plunder if I can use her videos because she gets all sort of arsy about people using her videos for fair use. If not, I'll get them from somewhere else. Because it is interesting to see the videos that she's put, the video of him playing pool, where he looks exactly like Bridge Guy. You know, I think there's no doubt really, even he's admitted that more or less that he's Bridge Guy by saying he was there and he had those clothes on and everything. But what he said was when the police asked him, "Is that you in that photo?" He said, "Well, if one of the girls took it, no, it's not me." I mean, who says that? You know, somebody shows you a photo, it's either you or it isn't. Someone shows you a photo and says, "Is that you in that photo?" You either say, "Yes, that's me," or "No, that's not me." You don't say, "Well, if one of those girls took it, it's not me." You know, there's a lot of inconsistencies. The thing that's missing, of course, is the DNA. This is the thing that's missing. No DNA from anyone. Strange, isn't it? You know, in this day and age where they can get DNA off virtually anything, the smallest trace of DNA, hairs, what have you, for there to be nothing, and not only from Richard, but from anyone, is quite odd. But I do think that those girls were washed or cleaned or something. I don't know. I think he's DNA aware, this guy, because he started off saying to the police as well, "Oh, you're not going to find anything that will tie me to these murders." Well, why did he think that? You know, well, I suppose apart from the fact he might be innocent, but yeah, he was very cocksure, you know, but they did find the bullet. You know, what about the bullet? So anyway, as we've said, it's not, we've all got our views. You know, some people think he's innocent, some people think he isn't, some people don't know. You know, but only the people who've got the responsibility to decide one way or the other are the jury, of course. And it's the jury that will be back deliberating again later. You know, so yeah. Honestly, Ninja, you probably could have got it for nothing. You would have just have to write to the that's what peed me off a bit about Plunder when she was whinging a few months ago about people using her Stefan Stern's audio or whatever. You know, it's not hers for a start. It's not hers. She hadn't bought it because I got that very same audio. You just send off it, they send it you, they don't charge you for it. So, you know, I don't like that when people are lying about paying money for things that they haven't paid money for, and make it, you know, and then creating a big drama about it. You know, whereas I've found with other channels, even big channels, it's nice when big channels are great, you know, they're sort of, you know, because I won't show anything unless I've actually written some and got written permission, because I don't want any copyright strikes. And if I can't get written permission, then I don't bother doing it. And I like it in writing, because I don't want them then turn around later and saying, no, I never gave you permission to use that. But yeah, I went off Plunder then. So to be honest, I haven't watched her since, until this person sent me a link to the video, which is what? You can't, what, Ninja? You can't email. Well, I'm not in Florida though, am I? Well, put it this way, if there's anything you want, just let me know and I'll send it. I'll just send it. You know, what was I going to say? Yeah, if there's anything you want me to get from Florida, just email me and I'll send off for it. Because I've not sent off for anything for a while, because I felt like I was really getting on nerves. But I've realised now the way they do it, because I kept, I think it was the Jen Soto interview that I was, oh no, it was the crime scene photos. And I kept writing to them and saying, can I have the crime scene photos? And they're like, we've already sent them. Yeah, we've already sent. I'm like, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. Anyway, they add everything onto a link. So so I think, so there may be more things on there now. I haven't been back and looked, because I did get a bit sort of overwhelmed with the Madeline Soto case. Like, I got a bit too upset with it, because it is a heavy case, isn't it? They're all heavy cases, but, you know, especially Madeline's, and the same with the when it's young girls like that. So I haven't sent off for anything for ages. But it may be that they've just added it to my link. So what they do is they send you a link, and then each time new things are released, they add it onto that link. So when they were saying to me, oh, you've already got these crime scene photos, and I'm saying, well, no, I haven't, because I was expecting a separate email, but they were just adding it onto my link anyway. It's a bit confusing, but oh, that's strange. I don't know why your requests would bounce back, mine wouldn't. Maybe we've got an agreement, because of course I'm in Spain, so I'm sending them from Spain, not from Britain, even though I'm British. My requests are going from Spain. Maybe they have an agreement with Spain. Who knows? Maybe they do. Yeah, I did a video about Mr. Cruel. He was never caught, was he? Mr. Cruel's not been caught. But I did do a video about him. So, okay, that's where we are. So I'll say, Ninja, if there's anything you want me to send off, you just send me the email you want me to send, and I'll send it to them. And I'm going now. So I just wanted to give you those 3 updates about Kyan and about Patrick Stevenson and about the Delphi murders. And was hopefully, I mean, the problem with the Delphi murders verdict now is you feel like it's gone quite a long time. Are they going to come up? You know, it seems like a long time, but sometimes it might be just one person either way who's just needed to, because I think they need the whole 12, don't they? I don't think the judge will accept a 10-2 verdict. When I did jury service years ago, and it was an RAPE case, and we went out to deliberate, and the thing is, it was a really difficult one, because it was one of those where the girl, well, she was only 14 though, for a start. She was only 14, and the lad, he wasn't dead old, but he was about 18. He was over age, and she had gone back with him, and she was, willingly, she liked him, etc. But when it came to the moment of actually doing anything, she didn't want to take it as far as he wanted to take it, and she said no, and he just carried on regardless. So it was a very difficult one, because our jury was one young lad. I mean, I wasn't that old then. I was in my 30s. The jury, there was probably all different ages, but I remember there's one young lad, well, he was about 22, 23, and he would just kept saying, no, she should never have gone back there with him, like that. And so there were 11 of us that were saying, well, he's guilty, because although she did go back there with him and she went so far with him, but when it came to it, it's trouble with our APE cases is it is their word against, it's one word against another. Nobody else is there normally. So it's like, who do you believe? And the reasons that we believed the girl was because his friends, all his friends were in the courtroom looking at us, trying to intimidate us. We had to be escorted to the bus stop afterwards, or wherever we were, to our cars. The whole jury, because he had about 5 mates in the jury room, in the courtroom, glaring at us all and, making aggressive gestures. That is how he got convicted, because it was a bit like, well, it's who do you believe? You either believe the girl or do you? And basically what it came down to was, do you think in the end that girl said no? And this young lad, he said, yes, she probably did say no at the end, but she shouldn't have been there in the first place. That was the sort of thing he was saying. Anyway, in the end, to cut a long story short, the judge said that he would accept a 10-2 verdict. So that's how that guy got to be found guilty, and he was charged with RAPE. But believe me, if his friends hadn't been in there making us all feel, because we were like, why are his friends in there intimidating us, the jury, if he's not guilty? They actually made him look guiltier because of their actions. And I think that was the only case that came to an actual verdict. And that when I did jury service, there was a couple of other cases. There was one case which was a paedophile case. I don't know why I'm whispering, because YouTube will still hear it. And that just disintegrated. That was awful, actually, because you had this young lad in the dock. Not in the dock, he was the victim. And he was explaining what had happened, and the accused was like quite an elderly guy, and he had a really good solicitor, because the solicitor, he was a horrible man, actually, but that's what he's there for, to defend his client. But he just wiped the floor with this kid. When I say kid, he wasn't like 5 or whatever, he was about 12, 13. He was young. And when the boy was trying to remember the dates that these things had happened, he couldn't remember properly the dates, the times. He was getting all mixed up in his head, as a sort of 12, 13-year-old would do. And this prosecutor, he just ripped him to pieces. He just ripped his whole story to pieces. And the judge called, a mistrial or whatever, and that was the end of that. So it never came. We didn't have to give a verdict, and it would have been difficult. It would have been really difficult to say guilty, because this boy, and I mean, it may be that it was all rubbish, I don't know, but it never got that far that we ever really got a feeling properly about it. As soon as he started trying to say what had happened, and on the days it had happened, he got a few times mixed up, he got a date mixed up, and this prosecutor just ripped into him, and that was the end of that. But so I don't know if that guy was guilty or not, but he walked away from court a free man that day. You know, maybe he was guilty, maybe he wasn't, but it couldn't be proven, you know, so. Yeah, Chumba, it's no. But the thing about plunder is, Chumba, she said that she'd paid for these things. She hadn't paid for them. That's the thing. It's not about, I always give people a shout out, but I would only give it, I would not do it without actually having it in writing from her that it was okay, because I don't, you know, to be perfectly honest, I don't trust her, because when you say, no, oh, this has cost me all this money, all these videos and all these things, and I know because I've got those videos free, and, you know, I don't like people who tell lies like that. So that's it. I'm going. So I've waffled on enough. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. And let's see what happens later on. Bye. Oh, sorry. Hang on. I need to see. So don't forget tonight, members only live, and I've got a special surprise for you Carry On Chatting members. Thank you so much for being members. Okay, bye.